working to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
And welcome to ASEAN in Focus, delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region. And now to the news. Almost 200 men identified by police as Bangladeshi have been found crammed into a shop house in Indonesia. The authorities said Wednesday police in the city of Medan on Sumatra Island were tipped off to the group by suspicious residents who lived nearby. When police raided the shop house on Tuesday, they found some 192 men, mostly in their 20s. Occupying the two-story building, with many complaining about lack of food. Officials said they believe the men had arrived from Bangladesh and were living in the cramped quarters for several months in the hopes of going to neighboring Malaysia for work. It was not immediately clear who owned the building or what role they may have played in the affair. In recent years, Indonesia has seen hundreds of asylum seekers, mostly Afghans and minority Rohingya from Myanmar, arrive in the northern part of Sumatra.
Lepas sini kita abang yang tangkapan kan, gari kan, itu tempat ada 2 hari, 22 hari sajalah. Itu agenan banyak tipu sama kita. Kita mau naik pesawat Malaysia, tapi dia orang buat ini macam 3 negara kena pusing kita. Kalau cerita lebih kita, makanan tak kasih cukupan, kasih pukul, kasih siapa, ini macam buat. Semua orang budak, semua ini kita orang badan semua turun, tak ada tenaga, tak ada kuat, makanan tak kasih cukupan.
Meanwhile, Hollywood superstar Angelina Jolie says that Myanmar must show a genuine commitment to end violence that has driven hundreds of thousands of Rohingya Muslims into neighboring Bangladesh as she visits a Rohingya refugee camp in Bangladesh.
The Rohingya families I have met are no different from other refugees in one crucial respect. They want to be able to return home. And they have an absolute right to return home, but only when they feel it is safe enough to do so voluntarily, and they know that their rights will be respected. I urge the Myanmar authorities to show the genuine commitment needed to end the cycle of violence and displacement and improve the conditions for all communities in the Rakhine State, including the Rohingya. And while UNHCR is ready to support efforts to improve conditions, there have been very little progress on the ground. The Rohingya cannot return to Myanmar at this time. And until they can return, we have a collective responsibility to ensure that they can live dignified lives here in Bangladesh.
Superstar envoy for the UN Refugee Agency made the comments on the second day of emotional meetings with Rohingya, including rape survivors in Bangladesh's Cox's Bazar district, where some 740,000 Rohingya have taken refuge since August 2017. There were already about 300,000 in camps before the exodus, which has strained Bangladesh's resources to the limit. The visit came ahead of a new UN appeal to raise nearly $1 billion for the 1 million Rohingya now in the camps around the town of Cox's Bazar. In the Philippines, the Department of Justice has ordered the indictment of the Rappler Incorporated's executive editor Maria Ressa and 2 others for cyber libel in connection with an article that alleged then-Chief Justice Renato Corona, during his impeachment trial, had been using a sport utility vehicle lent to him by a controversial businessman. In a 7-page resolution dated January 10 but received only by parties on February 4, the DOJ ordered for Rappler Incorporated and its former reporter Reynaldo Santos to also be indicted for the article published on May 29, 2012 and edited on February 19, 2014. The DOJ panel, composed of Senior Assistant State Prosecutor Edwin Dayog and Assistant Prosecutors Florencio de la Cruz Jr. and Jeanette Dacpano, ordered the complaint against Rappler Incorporated's Manuel Ayala, Nico Jose Noliedo, Glenda Gloria, James Bitanga, Felicia Atienza, Dan Albert de Padua, and Jose Maria Hofilena. dismissed as it said there was no showing of their participation in the commission of the offense or supervision or control over respondent Santos. In other news, the National Capital Region Police Office has downgraded the full alert status declared in Metro Manila following the Holosulu twin blast that killed at least 23 people. In a statement, NCRPO head Guillermo Eleazar said the downgrading to a heightened status was effective today, February 7. Eleazar made the announcement a day after Philippine National Police spokesperson Senior Superintendent Bernard Banac said the Holo blast case was solved following the identification of those behind the attack, the surrender of 5 of the suspects, including alias Kama, and the filing of charges against them. Banac said, however, that the case was still not closed as several suspects remain at large. Eleazar said the difference between the two status levels is really minimal. There may be less checkpoint frequencies, but the mobilization of their police personnel and resources in the metropolis continues. Their intelligence plans or strategies and efforts to detect terrorist personalities continue. Eleazar noted that despite the Holo blast case being solved, Metro Manila is still the center of commerce and trade, the home of practically all government institutions, departments, and agencies, and is always a possible target of terrorists. He also said that is why their police force has to be alert and vigilant 24/7. Eleazar also urged the public to be alert and vigilant and to report to the nearest barangay or policeman any suspicious people or behavior of people in their neighborhood.
Ano ba yung nature ng work ninyo?
Well, itong Social Media Suite is a company that provides social media services to a broad range of clients. Yes, po.
So, talagang
So,
ito
lahat ng nasa internet, social media, yan, trabaho namin yan.
Okay. Ngayon, siyempre sabi nila, kayo ba maapektuhan ng work from home? O ginagawa nyo na ito bago pa nilabas ang batas na yan?
Ginagawa na namin to bago pa man lumabas yung batas.
Paano? Sige,
Samahan niyo po kami sa isang oras na talakayan. Huwebes, mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng gabi. Dito lang sa Patakaran.
Ilang section lamang.
Ako po si Paul Farol ng Social Media Suite. Basta't laging tandaan, sa bawat karapatan ay may patakaran.
Diskusyon, Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng gabi.
Welcome to ASEAN in Focus. This is Kaloy Tabunda from the New Era University ASEAN Studies Center. We are honored to have as guest for today Dr. Edward L. Ferreira, PhD, the recently appointed Special Envoy or Ambassador of President Rodrigo Duterte to the Republic of Kazakhstan. Dr. Ferreira pursued his postgraduate studies in lunar microbiology, at the University of California in Los Angeles, and he worked for the National Aeronautics Space Administration, or NASA, in Houston, Texas, under the Apollo 11 first man landing project as the first Filipino lunar microbiologist to examine the moon rocks brought back by Neil Armstrong, Edward Aldrin, and Michael Collins. He took his master's in business administration also at UCLA and studied at Syracuse University in New York by taking his Master of Science in Marketing Management Development. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, Kaloy.
Okay. You are our newly appointed special envoy to the Republic of Kazakhstan.
Yes, yes.
So what is a lunar microbiologist doing in the field of diplomacy?
Well, that was my
that was your previous life.
Yeah, that was my previous life.
Okay.
So as you grow older, you change this profession, and the latest profession that I have is diplomacy.
But before this, before you were appointed by President Duterte, it says here that you were also personally appointed by the President of the Republic of Kazakhstan, His Excellency Nursultan Nazarbayev, as the Consul General of the Republic of Kazakhstan, to the Philippines for 8 years.
That's right, correct. That was in 2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why Kazakhstan? Actually, for a regular Filipino, he doesn't know. I'm sure he doesn't know where Kazakhstan is. Can you tell us about Kazakhstan?
Well, Kazakhstan geographically is the largest. It is the largest intercontinental country in Eastern Europe, and also in Central Asia.
In Central Asia.
It is geographically located, and it is the biggest inland area. When it comes to the demographic size of the country, of course excluding Russia.
Okay.
Because Kazakhstan occupies around 2,713 square kilometers. So you could see it is the biggest among the Soviet states.
Okay, so it used to be part of the USSR.
That's right.
Union
before,
of Soviet
before.
Socialist Republic.
That's right. Correct.
And then when USSR dismantled, so Kazakhstan became an independent republic. But is it still close to Russia?
It's still very close because, well, you know, I mean, they could not get away from their relationship as a mother state, and Kazakhstan was a part of the Soviet states before of Russia.
So it borders Russia.
It borders Russia. Yeah, it's very near to Russia.
Okay. So among the former Soviet states, except Russia, it's the biggest in terms of land area.
That's right. Correct.
Okay. So. Why Kazakhstan?
Why I was appointed in Kazakhstan? Well, actually, it was, you know, to make this story short, it's a long story, but to make this story short, when President Nazarbayev came to the Philippines for a state visit under the Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo administration, I was the president of the Management Association of the Philippines, and our association hosted a business conference with the president. So, President Nazarbayev expressed his intention to get a consul general of their country to the Philippines. Okay. So since I was introduced to President Nazarbayev, you know, President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo, you know, introduced me, and
the rest is history, as they say.
And then I was appointed by President Nazarbayev as their first Consul General in the Philippines.
Okay, so this was during the time of President Arroyo, so this was until when was that? Until 2010?
Correct.
Okay, can you please describe the present state of relationship between Philippines and Kazakhstan in terms of diplomatic official relations? We don't have an ambassador to
we don't
Kazakhstan,
have.
and they don't have an ambassador here to
Correct.
But you're a special envoy
of the president to Kazakhstan. Well, actually, the start of the diplomatic relationship commenced during the state visit of President Nazarbayev. I think he tried to open Kazakhstan to the Philippines, introduce Kazakhstan to the Philippines, you know, in order that would be an open trade in economic trade and also cultural exchanges between two countries. That was in 2004.
So, as a special envoy to Kazakhstan, will you hold office there in Kazakhstan?
No. Actually, since we don't have an embassy or a consulate there yet, I will still be based in the Philippines, but frequently I might be going to Kazakhstan to represent the president.
But there are plans to establish a consulate there in Kazakhstan.
Yes, I think because of the many Filipinos now who has been interested in working and you know, coordinating with some business establishment in Kazakhstan. So,
yeah, when I was in Moscow last year, I remember I saw some foreign workers in Moscow, and my Moscow host told me that, oh, those are from the 5 countries that have special economic relationship with Russia, and I think Kazakhstan is one of them.
Kazakhstan is one of them.
Some of the other countries.
Well, the Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Turkmenistan.
Okay, and of
it's
course,
all done.
So these are all Central Asian states that used to be part of the USSR.
Yes.
So,
and you know, Kazakhstan has the greatest oil and gas reserves, and also metals. You know,
what metals?
Well, they have of course chromium or uranium, copper,
okay,
and other very important metals that could be used by other countries like the United States,
especially uranium for
nuclear
energy.
That's why United States is very kind to Kazakhstan. That would be very nice to them.
So those are the trade possibilities. But right now, are there any trading partnership between the Philippines and Kazakhstan?
Well, initially, there was. It started in 2006 when I introduced our Philippine products to Kazakhstan. The trade, you know, we export our basic products to Kazakhstan, like banana.
Okay.
You know, and then machinery parts.
Right now, we're doing that.
We're doing that. Right now, and then we have also cultured pearls, we have also some machineries for automotive that are also being exported to Kazakhstan. But it's only very minimal our export to Kazakhstan, which is only around almost $1,525,000
a year,
which is very in a year, and that is very and that is very small. And our import from Kazakhstan is bigger. It's around $25 million.
Wow! So there's a big balance.
So there is a big balance really of importation and exportation.
So what do we get from Kazakhstan?
Well, the products that Kazakhstan export are really on oil. That is their main. But
do we get oil from Kazakhstan right now?
Well, that's a very good question. That is one thing that I really would like to suggest the president. That as far as I remember, when Nazarbayev and the former president Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo had a meeting, and I was in Malacanang during that meeting, President Nazarbayev offered, you know, their oil to the Philippines at a very cheaper price. You know, even lower price than the oil that we import from Saudi Arabia.
So what do you think happened?
Well, you know, there are lapses in trade negotiations.
Okay.
I think the trade became very minimal because the requirement of oil is not enough for it's not acceptable to Kazakhstan to export their oil because
to the Philippines.
They have to the Philippines.
Okay, we will talk more about the trade and other matters between Kazakhstan and the Philippines. The Nation in Focus returns.
Pag dumating siya mamaya, madami akong gusto itanong sa kanya. Kayo, may mga tanong kayo?
Oh, yes.
Marami akong papatanong sa'yo.
May tanong ka? Lista natin, tapos tanong natin sa kanya mamaya lahat. O, maliban dun sa lab mo na Choco Beam, nagkaroon ka ng crush na artista?
Artista? Sa isang interview ni Ma'am, saang hayop siya may phobia dahil pet na niya, niluto pa.
Welcome back to ASEAN in Focus. We're still interviewing here a special envoy of the President Duterte to the Republic of Kazakhstan, Dr. Edward Ferreira. We were talking earlier about the past. I hope it will be a future again, possibility of the Philippines importing oil from Kazakhstan. You mentioned earlier that the reason why the negotiations did not push through because the volume of oil that we wished to import from Kazakhstan was not really viable in terms of volume. So
that's right.
What do you think are the possibilities that we can do another negotiation with Kazakhstan for them to supply us a cheaper oil?
Well, I think this would be a very good effort under the Duterte administration if they would now explore the possibility of importing oil, cheap oil from Kazakhstan. Because you know what is happening now, the world market really dictates what prices that we have.
Yes.
And I think we are having a crisis in terms of prices of oil. So if the president would really look into the possibility again of we the Philippines can import the cheap oil, you know, from Kazakhstan, I think that would be very viable for our economy. You know, the Kazakhstan oil, because it is a landlocked country, it passes through the Caspian Sea, and the Caspian Sea goes to Iran.
Okay.
And it is from Iran that the oil goes out to the free market.
To the Arabian Gulf and then to
to Caspian Sea.
Okay.
Caspian Sea, then to Iran. Then Iran to
I
the free world.
I was thinking how will the oil coming from Kazakhstan go here? So it will take the same route.
Yeah.
So
there
it will pass through the Middle East still.
Yeah, that's why you still have to pass through Iran. You know.
So
that is the most viable place.
Do you think the offer of Kazakhstan is still open for the Philippines?
Well, I hope so.
You'll play a big role there.
Hope so. I think you know, Kaloy, this is one of the main reasons why I am planning and I am organizing a very high-powered business mission. It's going to be a mission, economic, trade, and cultural mission to Kazakhstan. That I hope I will be supported by the Department of Trade, and I will be supported by the Department of Tourism, as well as the Department of Energy. That we could go to Kazakhstan now, I mean, to show that, hey, look, we the Philippines, this is a country that who's willing to trade with you, and this is what we can offer, and in return, what can we get from you? I think probably oil will be one of the best
products
that we can get.
Okay, how about culture? Are there any cultural exchanges between our two countries?
It already started, I think, way back in 2011, wherein the Filipinos were invited to participate in the world cultural Wokopa. Yeah, it is called
Olympics,
the World Championship of Performing Arts.
Yeah, it was held in Kazakhstan.
Yeah. Every year they hold it in Kazakhstan, so they invite different singers. In fact, there were 2 Filipinos who already won. If I'm not mistaken, Casey Candigan was one of the singers. You know, I think
we always win in international singing competitions.
Yes, on singing, and don't forget the basketball. No, basketball.
There's basketball diplomacy,
and also boxing.
Oh, are there Kazakh boxers also?
They are very good Kazakh boxers. You know, the minister of Culture and Tourism was an Olympian champion.
Oh,
and he was the first minister of Culture and Sports.
Okay, what about educational opportunities? How are the universities in Kazakhstan?
Well, that is what Kazakhstan needs. You know, I think we should export our educational expertise to Kazakhstan, because the Kazakhstanis, they don't speak English very well.
Okay, for
they have
English
language barrier. Yeah.
Okay, I think we need to talk to the president of the New Era University to send English teachers to Kazakhstan.
Yeah, we could. We you know, there are teachers there now.
Okay, Filipino teachers. Teaching English.
Teaching English to Kazakhstan. Yeah, they are.
But I'm sure you have high technology, you know, advanced technology courses which you can teach here in the Philippines, which they can, where Filipino students can go there to study.
Yes, they can. There could be an exchange program in education. No? I think they are starting it now with cultural and what you call sports activities.
Okay. If you are, of course, you will be a spokesperson for Kazakhstan. How will you entice Filipinos to go visit Kazakhstan? What will you tell them? What will you highlight?
Well, Kazakhstan now has been considered during the Singapore Economic Forum, wherein it was advocated by the participating countries that Kazakhstan now is the country of the future. So there is really a very good potential to Kazakhstan. And since our country is more on labor-oriented, you know, we are a labor-oriented country, we can export not only our skilled expertise to Kazakhstan, but as well as the unskilled. You know, there are lots of Filipinos now working in the oil fields in Kazakhstan. Yes.
Okay. These are unskilled.
Unskilled. These are the people who work in the, you know, in the oil fields. You know, they are the one who works on the machineries and, you know, all those sort of things in the oil fields.
What about the skilled workers? What are the fields Filipinos can be employed in?
Well, education is one.
Okay.
You know, engineers, English teachers, engineers, management and business people. Yeah, they're very much interested in that.
So,
and also IT.
IT.
Yes.
You mean our professionals you can really work there?
Yes.
Are they open to accept overseas Filipino workers?
Yes, of course. And you know, the salaries that a Filipino could get in Kazakhstan is higher than any other countries.
In Central Asia.
Central Asia. The GDP before per capita of a person when I was Consul General was $7,500 US dollar per capita per person in US dollar. But now it is $25,000 per capita of a person.
So it's,
would you see the GDP?
So it's about the size of the GDP per capita is roughly similar to Brunei.
Yes.
So
but almost, but a little bit higher now.
A little bit higher now.
Yeah.
And our GDP per capita is about 4,000.
4,000, correct.
So, and they're open to Filipino workers.
That's right.
So, so can you invite Filipinos now to work here to go to Kazakhstan?
I really, you know, in fact, there are so many inquiries now in our office regarding Filipinos going to Kazakhstan. They would like to work, and it's tremendous. I mean, some are asking for assistance in visas for a visit as a tourist, and the other are to work there.
Where's the office?
We have our office in Makati.
Yeah, where is Makati? So
it is in Barangay San Isidro, you know, Barangay Dian Street.
Okay, so Filipinos, interested parties can just go there and inquire.
Yes, they could just inquire because we don't issue visas in the Philippines.
Okay.
The visas in Kazakhstan are issued in Indonesia.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, but you're very optimistic that the relationship between our two countries would prosper in the future.
Oh, I think so. I think so. I think this is the first move that the president, in appointing me to be his special envoy, to explore more the possibilities of doing business in Kazakhstan.
Okay, thank you very much, Ambassador.
Thank you very much too.
Thank you very much, and catch the full length of this interview with Ambassador Edward Ferreira in ASEAN in Focus Weekend. Anyway, this is Kaloy Tabunda, and I'm 1 with 25. Back to you, Judith.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kaloy Tabunda and Dr. Ferreira, for that very special interview. And that is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Judith Temera, and I'm 1 with 25.